Unemployment in France. The unemployment rate in France fell to 8.8% in the fourth quarter of 2018 from 9.1% in the previous period and slightly below the market expectations of 9.1%. It was the lowest jobless rate since the first quarter of 2009. In metropolitan France, only the unemployment rate declined to 8.5% from 8.8 as the number of unemployed decreased by 90,000. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate remained at its highest level since the early 1980s, as the activity rate was stable at 72.3%. Unemployment rate in France averaged 9.26% from 1996 until 2008, reaching an all-time high of 10.7% in the first quarter of 1997 as a record low of 7.2% in the first quarter of 2008. France, like other Western countries, has seen a deep gap grow between the richest and the poorest citizens. The top 20% of the population earns nearly 5 times as many as the bottom 20%. France's richest 1% represent over 20% of the economy's wealth. Yet the median monthly income is about 1,700 euros or 1,930 United States dollars, meaning that half of the French workers are paid less than that in a month. Many of the yellow vest demonstrators, which are followers who wear or display a highly visible vest used in emergencies, which has morphed into a collective outcry over deeper problems that have plagued France for years, such as declining living standards and eroding purchase power, which have worsened the aftermath both of Europe's long-running financial crisis. Many of the yellow vest demonstrators are protesting how difficult it is to pay rent, feed their families, and simply scrape by, as living costs, which most notably the fuel prices, keep rising while their household incomes barely budge. It wasn't always like this for the people of France. Living standards and wages have rose in France after World War I during a 30-year growth stretch known as Les Trente Glorieuses. Pay gains for low and middle income earners continued through the early 1980s, thanks to labor union collective bargaining agreements. But those dynamics unraveled as successive left-leaning French governments sought to improve competitiveness, in part by compressing wage gains. According to the French economist Thomas Piketty, average income for low and middle income earners stagnated, growing by around 1% a year or less.